Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And today's video is going to be a recap of my weekly fragrance rotation. What 7 fragrances I wore each day of the week last week. Just finishing off the second week of October here. I believe this week ended off on the 13th. So right around the 6th or 7th through the 14th of October. Starting off with Monday. So Monday and Tuesday started off pretty well. Good start to the week. Got a compliment on both days. Monday wore this one right here, Ehsas Khas. And this is a Arabian Oud is from the brand that this is. And it is basically a remake or a reimagining of Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum, which was a beloved fragrance in the community, very much the best apple pie designer style fragrance. Sadly discontinued, but this one brings it back to life with gusto, I would say. Definitely has a little bit more of a quality composition. It doesn't quite have as much of this rugged, rough sort of designer feel to the texture of the fragrance. This is a lot more smooth, suave, gentlemanly, I would say. This does take a twist on the apple pie Boss Bottle DNA. However, it injects a very minty, loud, and in-your-face geranium to the composition. So I feel like this is a little bit of a, almost like an Eros flanker that took the Boss Bottle DNA and put it into a sort of Eros body with that loud, in-your-face, minty geranium. Nonetheless, still got a compliment on this one. I think it smells great, and you can get this at discounters for under $100 right now. I think a real hidden gem designer fragrance for the autumn season right now. That was Ehsas Khas from Arabian Oud. Tuesday, next compliment, Armani Code Parfum. This is, if you keep your eye out, you can get this 125 ml bottle for right around $100, I think is what I paid for mine. Really beautiful, simple fragrance. This is one of the most simplistic fragrances that I've worn in a long time. Very much just iris woods. That's essentially what I pick up off of this one. Iris, tonka bean woods. It's kind of the full summation of what you get here. Just easy to wear, semi-sweet, a little bit dusty and powdery, and a nice masculine woody frame. The person that complimented on me with this one wanted to know what it was because they found it so alluring, and they said it was very masculine smelling. So one of my first couple wearings of this one outside of the house without just being simple bedtime testing, but again, really pleased with how this one played out, the positive attention I got with it. But it is a little bit simplistic for my taste to want to reach for all that often, but I think it holds a nice slot in my collection for just something that's like almost like a dumb reach. Wednesday started off all right. Definitely had a bit of an inflection point in the week this week with Wednesday. So started it off by wearing Ombre Noir by Lalique. This is a really nice red cedar and fig fragrance. So the red cedar in here definitely evokes that red-orange color hue the way that the juice does. It is somewhat almost borderline reminiscent of something like Thai curry or some type of Indian food dish because it has this very orange, astringent, almost turmeric style red cedar vibe going on in here. But there's a really nice balance because of this sweet, almost milky textured fig that offers up a nice green accent to that otherwise dark red and orange woody facet in here, and it just brings the fragrance into such an elegant dimension. Really nice little gem of a fragrance. It was not at discounters for a long time, but easily available for right around the $60 price point, making it one of my favorite designers for the autumn season. So Wednesday, Ombre Noir from Lalique, and ended off that day on a little bit of a sad note. Me and my wife had been expecting our third baby in May, but we found out on Wednesday that unfortunately we did have a miscarry, so we lost the pregnancy. So the remainder of the week was a little bit drab for me. It was hard to really get excited about anything. I'm still kind of going through a little bit of a grieving process right now. A lot of my fragrances haven't really been giving me a lot of enjoyment through the wearing experience, just because I've been kind of in a blah kind of state right now. Me and my wife have been a little bit shaken up by this event, but nonetheless, still trying to kind of move forward, be positive, be grateful to God for everything that He has provided us with. And so went with some more testing going on throughout the remainder of the week. A couple other fragrances that were my first time wearing out of the house, kind of getting to know them a bit. So for Thursday, we had Ralph's Club Elixir, and this kind of opens up a little bit like a blue fragrance, I want to say, and then moves quickly into something that's very reminiscent of like a Dior Homme Intense. So you get this really nice woody, powdery, masculine iris. I feel like this does iris in a way that is more masculine than most of the other fragrances that attempt to go into that Dior Homme, Valentino Uomo Intense sort of dimension. And it was really nice wearing experience. I got a lot of joy out of the texture of this one, and what little joy I was able to experience during the time. But this one kind of comes off a little bit like, it reminds me of, it's very dry, dusty, and chalky. Chalky, I think, is a good way to describe this one. It reminds me of the little dehydrated marshmallows that you get in like Lucky Charms, but more accurately, I would say, like the little ones in the packets of the instant hot cocoa mixes. So a little bit of a chocolatey, dusty, chalky sort of marshmallow vibe going on as this one begins to dry down. A little bit linear. That opening doesn't last very long, and after a while this does get a little bit cloying. Not that it's like cloying in a heavy kind of way, but it just is like very repetitive. It just has this very monotone feel about it. Although it was a very pleasant smell, I just felt like it was a little bit too monotonous at times. So looking forward to wearing that one some more because it was enjoyable, but definitely I probably would reach for other things in that same scent category before that one. But was good getting to know that one, first wearing experience with it. Friday, I like to wear niche fragrances, and I went with this one. It was unseasonably warm on Friday. Most of the week we had some really nice room temperatures, sort of 70, 75 degree temperatures, but Friday we got up into the 80s again. And this is a really nice, refreshing rose fragrance. I still think this is apt for the autumn season because it dries down into something that has a really good degree of resinous, ambery hues and a bit of a spicy nuance, I want to say. But the overall opening and wearing experience with this is somewhat reminiscent of like a strawberry lemonade infused with rose. And then you get a little bit of that spicy, almost gummy style amber moving into the dry down, but it's still very much a fresh fragrance. Very potent fragrance. This is Rose de Taif Extrait from Perris, Monte Carlo. And I could still smell this one on me coming out of the shower. I put a little bit in my hair on Friday, and it was still exuding its scent out of my hair just yesterday in the shower. So that's like a week-long's performance with this. Really insane stuff. Beautiful rose fragrance, though. I find it to be a little bit easier to wear than some of the other things in the same category, like Portrait of a Lady. Can be a little bit much, especially for people that don't like rose, but this one I think wears a little bit more fresh and elegantly and not quite so in your face. So definitely check that one out. It's hard to come by that one at discounters, but it shows up fairly frequently at places like fragrancebuy.ca is where I've seen it at, and it's a lot more better value for money if you can get it for under $200. I think it's like $315 full retail. Definitely don't think it's worth that, especially for only the 50 ml bottle. So Saturday, again, some more testing. Brioni EDP Intense, and this one actually surprised me. It's really got a great deal of quality in terms of the ingredients, a good amount of performance, a unique scent profile. I believe Brioni is a subcategory or a sub company of Lalique. So really no surprise that this is a quality juice inside of here. Pretty good presentation as well. Got a nice metallic cap. Haven't tried the original Brioni, but I have tried the Eclat, which I found a little bit flat and Was not quite as impressed with that one. But this is a really nice sort of, you get that apple pie, almost wajan style, cinnamony, oudy, woody sensation, but then it's infused with this, I believe there's violet leaf in here that gives it a little bit of a watery tone, making it almost like a blue apple pie fragrance. Very unique composition, but somehow it works really well. The only takeaway from this detracting point that I have with it is that it is very, very fruity. The apple in here definitely comes off a little bit playful because of how tangy and almost mouth-watering it is. And fruity, I've come to find, is like one of my least favorite genres of fragrance. So this one didn't quite click with me as much as I would have maybe liked it to, but I still think this is getting high marks and praise from me, despite being not my own personal tastes. I think this is definitely worth checking out, and I'm looking forward to wearing this one some more. It was something that I wore on Saturday, so maybe I'll try to wear it more during the week when I get exposure to the general public a lot more, see what kind of reactions I get with that one. And then finally, Sunday ended off with a little bit of a lazy day. Still was just kind of going through this little bit of a gray emotional state, somewhat grieving our lost pregnancy, and Iris Nazarena was a welcome companion for me in that sort of mood state. Really nice silvery cloud is how I like to describe this one. A silver cloud aura that surrounds you with this beautiful, cold, dusty carrot sweetness from a unique iris in here. Hoping to do a full review on this one here soon. Was getting to know it quite a bit over the weekend. Hoping to do a full review, and maybe after I can compile all my notes, I'll get going ahead and put this up. But really beautiful iris, definitely a unique take on it that I haven't really experienced much elsewhere, and worth sampling this and the entire house because I think they're super underrated and super niche, and they're an American brand, which I found out recently, which is also pretty cool. Made in the USA fragrances, and a lot of all-star perfumers on their portfolio. I think Alberto Marias has done some, Bertrand Duchefort. So definitely Aedes de Venustas, the Iris Nazarena, was an awesome scent of the day for Sunday. And that ends off my weekly rotation. It was fun getting to know and wear some of these fragrances for some of their initial testing, such as Ralph Club's Elixir, Brioni EDP Intense, Ehsas, Khas, Armani Code Parfum. So definitely some pretty good reactions from the Arabian Oud and the Armani. If you're into compliments, definitely check those ones out, and let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything else you think I would enjoy checking out based on the tastes that I've exhibited here in this list. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.